We're at picturesque Allenbrook Farms in Spring Hill, Tennessee today on a sultry late summer day, and we're visiting with Dan, and he is going to share with us one of the newest crops that is very popular in the state of Tennessee, hemp farming. You grew the seedlings.
Yeah, we grew all our seedlings this year, had all our fields fallowed and prepped.
And how much acreage do you have in hemp?
We did like 12 acres this year,
okay.
But only like 4 or 5 was the early stuff that we're harvesting right now. The rest will come on in the next couple weeks, like even in November, I believe.
So this is your first year to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
You're learning on a curve here, right? What to do and what not to do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of lessons I've learned too. It's a really hardy, really strong plant. Unlike vegetables that will just kind of get a specific disease or a specific insect, they'll get them all.
Okay.
Everything that any plant will get, they get it.
And so how do you control the insects then?
Well, being certified organic, there's not really much that we can do. We just had to take a little bit of loss on that. But yeah, and also with this new crop, it's not regulated to have a lot of different pesticides, and it's going into people consuming it, so it will get kicked back if it has too many pesticides on it. So we basically used nothing and just took a little bit of loss, but yeah, it'll all work out in the end.
And so from the time frame, you started your own seedlings, so give me a time frame from starting the seedlings to now we're harvesting it, and it is the almost the end of September.
Yes. Okay, when y'all were out last time, those seedlings, we had been planted for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
From seed to growing to about that tall. We planted them out the week after that. So that would be like middle of May, I believe we planted everything out. Cultivated a few times, did some irrigation. Then they get so big you kind of can't get in within, the grasses have to grow up. But so that would be 4 months in the dirt. And now we're pulling big hardy plants out, big nice colas full of oil.
What'd you call that?
Colas, they call the big flowers colas. So
okay.
They're full of oil, and now we're harvesting them all in these wagons, taking them up to our drying barn.
So Dan, you've got some critters here.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on.
This is a patch of Suver haze. It's a really, really high oil content plant. Some of the problems we're seeing in Tennessee right now with this plant are mainly caterpillars. And the caterpillars will go in, and basically everywhere they touch, it'll just turn to brown destruction everywhere.
So when you
Here's
harvest,
your guy
there's
right
a
here.
caterpillar right there, yeah.
Wherever they're touching, it just falls apart. So that has been a really big problem for a lot of farmers in Tennessee, combating and dealing with that.
Because obviously, as you said, you can't spray them with anything.
There's not much that you can use in this crop, especially much that works well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of like something you just got to live with and try to get out before they all take
These
it
plants
down.
are still salvageable.
Oh, these are totally salvageable.
Okay.
I'd say like off of this plant, we only have maybe a 2% loss. So there's still tons of really good oil.
So
ready
when
to
you're
go.
stripping these, do you just pull off that, or do you not worry about it?
We will pull this off sometimes. If you were to hang dry it, you would want to take all of this off before you hang dry it, because it could cause mold in the slow dry situation. Not just that are we having problems with. There's basically every disease. I can take you and show you blight, southern blight, that'll just kill an entire plant overnight. There's septora problems, there's fusarium wilt, there's powdery mildew. There's basically every disease you can think of in here. But at the same time, the plant's really strong and it does like to push through a lot of that. But of course, it's going to affect your yields, soil quality, crop rotation. Those things always help. Very heavy feeder. I've heard that you don't really have to, you can replant the next year right after. I probably will not. I'll probably fallow these out and cover crop and then do heavy compost on it. Do my acreage like in a couple other spots on the farm. I'm just really big into rotations and cover crops, and I want to make sure I get those in on the soil. There's such an interesting plant. I mean, they literally have a male and a female.
Okay, I did not realize that.
Yeah, so part of our thing this year was we had to walk through every field, every row, looking for males and
how do you
those
distinguish
out.
that?
Well, the male will have little flowers, and
Okay.
it's structured differently. Actually, little flowers that open up, little pollen sacs.
Okay.
This stuff obviously is just kind of a big flowery kind of thing. So they look very different. It's just, it takes a long time to find them.
Do you have to have a certain ratio then?
No, you want 0 males.
Okay, so
The males will pollinate and then start producing seeds, and then that lowers the oil production.
Okay, so you pull them out.
Yeah,
then when
so
you
we
find
had to
them.
go find every single one, which on this batch from Oregon CBD Seeds, they claimed to have 1 in every 4,000, and that's about what we found.
Really?
Yeah, so we found 2 males out here and like a 6,000 plant grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dan, this is a different variety. What is this?
This is called Late Sioux. So we planted this in the middle of July, towards the end of July even, and it's supposed to harvest around Thanksgiving.
And the frost won't bother it?
That's what they say.
Wow. So this looks like potentially could be taller than the other varieties.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It's just started to go into flowering, so you can see the baby little flowers just starting. What I've noticed with the others is once they go into flower, they typically will double in size before they're ready to harvest. And I've also dry farmed all of this, so it has had no irrigation and it has not rained here for forever. Actually, I think since I planted it, so I'm pretty surprised at how good it's done with not having any water in 6 weeks.
How's the state of Tennessee for growing hemp compared to other states?
It's really, really good. They've changed a lot of the laws. They've reduced the amount of paperwork. They've made it more friendly for everybody to get licenses when they want to get licenses and not have a certain window to get licenses. Now it's open up all year. They're really good about the total THC versus Delta 9 THC, which is a thing. Hemp is considered hemp by being less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC, which is the compound that gets you high or whatever. Some states have the total THC, which limits the amount that you can grow, and you have to take them down earlier. The laws in Tennessee allow us to really max the potential of this plant out so we can get every drop of oil
So
from
longer
it.
growing periods they allow you is basically what you're saying.
Yes. Also, the movement permits are very easy to get. So that's a huge thing, to be able to go online and print off a movement permit so you can move your biomass within just a matter of a couple minutes. And so that way all the law enforcement knows and everybody knows. And that, to me, is huge. There's a lot of states that don't have that, and how people are getting pulled over and getting in trouble because they don't know this or that. But the way they put everything in place in Tennessee it's really awesome. They've done a really great job. Whoever has done it, thank you very much.
So explain to me how you find a market for this. So you've grown it, you're harvesting it, you're drying it with a big commercial dryer that you've purchased. Then where do you go?
Well, we're looking to processors, specifically some out of state, because they have the big facilities to handle, 10,000 pounds of processing a day.
And how much poundage do you get in a day?
Right now we're getting about 1,000 pounds dry a day through the machine.
Significant amount.
Yeah, pretty good.
Considering it's pretty lightweight.
Yeah, it's nice. Like we'll have this all dried and put in bags today. So that kind of speeds up the process for us. And yeah, this wagon, I've noticed every wagon ends up being about 100 pounds of biomass.
And I noticed this is a tobacco wagon.
Yeah, they're working really good.
That's kind of cool that you discovered that.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of old tobacco farmers that have a bunch of these that don't use them anymore. So a couple of them let me buy a few, and it's working out really good for the hemp. We've actually pulled them in and not gotten to work on them and let them dry out just on these, and that worked really well also.
All right, Dan, I want you to walk us through the drying process from start to finish. I know you do things a little bit differently because you have a commercial dryer, and I want you to share that with everyone.
Yes, ma'am. For us, we will harvest, put on wagons. We'll take the wagons up to our drying facility up there. We take each plant off. We strip it down to just stems.
And that's all done by hand?
Yeah, we're cutting it. We were using loppers, now we're using some hedge trimmers, but that goes a little faster. But then we take this by hand and feed it to a machine to just basically strip all of this off.
Okay.
Once we have this in big buckets, we just continually load the machine. It goes through about a 3-hour cycle and then comes out dry and ready to put in bags.
And once you start that machine?
We just feed it. As long as you feed it, it's pumping stuff out.
But you can't stop it in the middle of the drying process and go to bed for the night, right?
We can. We found that we can leave the box full and then come in the morning and just do it real fast if we're getting really tired and it's 1 a.m. and we want to go to sleep. But it's better just to keep it going.
So what do you see in the future for hemp in Tennessee? You were kind of hitting on a few little problems that there's a lot of people that think it's a sort of get rich quick.
Nothing's ever a get rich quick thing.
Not in farming.
Unless maybe the lottery, maybe if you win the lottery. Everything takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of marketing. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of coordinating workers. And still even in that, the bugs can come through and mess you all up or something. So the market, I think, is going to be good. It's just, I think, going to take a little bit to sort out. We got a lot of processors in Tennessee that are going to be coming online in late October and early November that'll be wanting to source local biomass, and I think that'll be good for people.
So what's the smaller person that's just doing a few acres? What kind of problems are they running into? You had touched that they don't have commercial dryers.
Well,
so.
yeah, drying is an issue. It takes a lot of room to dry this crop. They're saying about whatever square footage you're using for tobacco, you need about triple that for hemp. So a lot of these 5-acre tobacco barns can only do maybe 1.5 acres, which is a problem when someone has 6 acres. So I'm sure people are going to get very creative and figure out a lot of different things, and which will help the industry too, because someone smart out there will figure out something how to do quick and easy. I've had fun with it this year. It's been a really fun plant to grow. Any plant that'll grow a foot in a day, it's just really fun to watch.
It grows that fast?
It can when it's coming up in veg. I mean, you literally watch it grow, and that's really exciting and really fun.
Well, I want to tell you thank you on behalf of all of our viewers. We've learned a lot, we've seen a lot, and hemp, I think it's going to be a good cash crop for the state of Tennessee in years to come.
I believe so too.
Thank you so much, Dan, and Allenbrook Farms for hosting us today.
Thanks for coming out anytime.
Thanks.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.